Hey guys, Jenny from Tye-Dyed Iguana. Today I'm here to show you how to feed your animals. There are two different methods, the inactive and interactive. The inactive one's probably the easiest one because all you do is you take your feeding dish and you put whatever, food, any of your Repashy, Pangea, canned whatever, some kind of non-living organic that you feed off to your reptile. So like here I have a piece of mustard and a piece of squash. You can also do like canned roaches or something like that. But you just stick them on in there and you put them in the tank and that's it. The other way to be inactive feeding is taking your live animals, say like this cricket here is alive, but will be a little bit more interactive for them, but not for you. You just throw it in there and he's not going after it, but he'll go after it eventually. So that's the first method of just being inactive, not really any kind of like interaction with your reptile. It's the easiest method, but it's also the most distant method of not really paying attention to your reptile. All right, now let's move on to the other method, which is interactive feeding. We'll take our greens and squash that we put into our bowl. We just put them in there and they'll eat it eventually. But if you want to make sure that your animal is eating, you want to actually use your pair of tongs to feed them directly versus the food that's actually in the bowl itself. It might get scattered around. You won't know if they necessarily ate it or a little bit, or you only know if it disappears completely. But being interactive, you know for a fact that your animal is eating. So if I come in here, use my pair of tongs to feed, and there we go. And now we know that at least he's eaten some squash, and we know how much he's eating, because as we can see there, he ate half of it. He might eat this other piece, and there we go. So there, he ate the other piece. Now you'll know the actual portions of how much they're eating, how enthusiastic they are for feeding. So that's a really, really good and interactive way of being personable with your animal and getting to know them and their personality and their eating habits. The other interactive way is, instead of using tongs, use your trusty fingers. When it comes to using your fingers, there's a couple of instances where you don't want to use them. Say if you have an animal that has big old teeth and you know that they're super excited for food, you don't want to use your fingers, use your tongs. But say like this guy right here, he's been very, very chill. More than likely he'll take from my hand and he won't be scared, because sometimes the tongs aren't very scary, but your fingers can be, just because it's big, hands are big, and they have more of a smell to them. So, all right, so I have my piece of squash here and he's now turned around in his hide. Let me see if I can get him to turn back around. So with my little trusty fingies, we'll go ahead and give it to him. Now the biggest issue is your hand can be much more intimidating than the tongs. So whenever you go to approach them with food, you want to be very gentle. And as you can see, he didn't want those there, but he took the ones from the tongs. So maybe my hand was just too much for him. So even though he will interact with you, doesn't mean he'll necessarily interact with you. And so yeah, those are two different methods on how to feed your animal.